Okay.
Yeah. May I? Okay, so hi everyone. I want to introduce you to Nikki. This beautiful lady was a dance teacher. So I would like her to tell us a little bit about herself, about her life, so that she can inspire us in our world, in our lives, and for us to follow our dreams and do what we love. So Nikki, can you tell me a little bit about how you started to dance? How was it like for you?
Well, I'm from the Bavarian Alps on the Swiss and Austrian border, and when you grow up there, you socially learn dancing, what at that time, at that place was, which is foxtrot and waltz and tango and blah, blah, blah. But being in the States and having a job where I had days off in the middle of the week where other people all had to work, I wanted to fill those days with something interesting, so I thought I saw ads about Arthur Murray Dance Studio, and I thought maybe they'd teach me American swing,
Wow.
which I really wanted to, because it was foreign to me.
So when was this?
In
Which year?
1957.
57. Arthur Murray School. So
Mhm.
that's where you started to
Mhm.
here in the U.S.
And the lady that owned that particular studio in Santa Monica was very aggressive and very, well, she was well known in the Arthur Murray studios. She just decided, that young girl, she has talent and she has the money, so I'm going to sell her a lot of classes and offer her that she can teach. There will be a teacher, and I thought, oh my God, my parents would think that's terrible. They had sent me to college, and there I'm doing this.
I know, my parents say the same thing too.
But it was tempting, and I did it, and I said I will do it for 1 year on all my days off to learn it privately. But then I have to go home for a Christmas vacation because I promised my parents I would go. And when I come back, then I will teach. So that's what happened.
So when you come back from your vacation, you
Mhm.
started teaching.
Mhm.
Where did you start to teach?
In Santa Monica,
Santa
Arthur
Monica.
Murray Studio.
Wow. And did you start teaching alone? Did you have a dance partner?
Oh no, you just employed as a single person.
Really?
Yeah.
Back in the day, you were already employed as a single teacher. And
Sure.
would you have to teach alone your classes? Did you teach alone your classes?
Well, it's mostly private. It's all one-on-one.
Okay.
There's of course a lot of social activity in a studio like that. Like you have this party and the victory party and whatever, and a lot of exhibitions and stuff like that. Lots of social work, and we also went out into nightclubs and entertaining and stuff like that. And all done through the school.
Wow.
We even came to Hawaii.
Yes, I saw your picture. You were looking lovely here,
So,
feeling just at home, like a flower in this beautiful place.
and then this woman that was the owner of that school, her name is Gypsy Norton. She is very well known. She decided that she's going to train me to be an interviewer and an analyst. So that's the money end of the school, which I then started, working at.
So you started learning a lot about the dance business
Mhm.
and what it was associated to.
Yeah, and making plans for students that come in and selling them courses and, this kind of thing. And also interviewing originally to make them become, clients. So it's the business end of the story.
Yes.
And so one day that traveling Dane came into the school. He had been all over in several studios and was immediately hired, and because he had experience with Arthur Murray Studios, she hired him and put him in as my immediate superior. That didn't go very well over. I didn't like it. Miss Bach, blah, 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 blah. And I just said, well, he's just, walking around and making money because I make money.
Exactly. So it's just giving orders out of context.
I didn't like it at all.
Barking at you. You should have told him.
Right. Then came up this thing, like I said, there are a lot of social things in a studio like that all the time. Then there was a competition between all the studios. There were about 30 in the LA area. And instead of letting a couple compete, Gypsy, this woman then again, decided she has everybody trained, and then she has a dance-off and picking the best female and best male, and they have to represent the studio. That happened to be the two of us.
Of course. Who else would she pick? She wasn't out of her mind. I saw the pictures, all that poise.
Yeah, so we had to do the quick step to represent our studio. And every night after the studio closed, we stayed there to practice. That's how we fell in love. That was the end of me going back home to Switzerland and the hotel.
So there you stayed, falling in love with the dancer, and America became your home.
Well, I just followed him, which is probably not a very wise thing to do, but I did,
Ladies,
And
this is a pearl.
he immediately wanted his own studio. He was an entrepreneur at heart. That's what he wanted.
That is a very nice thing. So you got to have together your own dance studio and teach dance with your own business. And this was in San Francisco?
No. This all happened in Santa Monica, and then the studio became available in Santa Barbara. And so that's where we took over against all odds.
So Santa Monica and then Santa Barbara. Yeah.
So that was our studio there. And we just, from scratch, tried to fix something that another guy had ruined by doing bad business.
But at some point in time, you mentioned that you were in San Francisco. How did you end up in San Francisco?
Well, when I came over, I could come to the States because I had an aunt in New York, but I didn't like the East Coast very much.
You did?
Not really. It was too much like home.
Oh.
In cities, I don't really like, but I had a special degree in raising newborn babies. Because my mother steals, so she could get me into a children's hospital to get that on the side, so that I would be employable in the States. And the mother of the first baby that I raised for 11 months, they were a very well-known family over there. And she was Australian, and she had traveled a lot, and she always talked about San Francisco. And lots of guests came, and they all wanted to look at the baby at the nurse, So I decided I wanted to just, after 11 months, that was enough. I just took a long bus ride all the way through the United States to see what the country was like. You could just put your suitcases all the way to San Francisco, and you could stop at And
Was
it-
this in the 60s?
50,
50.
58, 59.
Wow. 1958. Putting your suitcases and some means of transportation and just going and seeing the world.
That's right.
Nowadays it feels such a high thing to do. I can't nearly imagine back then how brave you were just to be able to do that.
Right. And of course the West Coast was really much more an adventure for me, and I really like, I don't like cities very much, but San Francisco is one that I like.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yes. And I did all kinds of interesting things and joined a club with Germans and Swiss people and did some waitress work in bartending because that's what they were in a lot, you know. And so, but then I said, no, I gotta go home. This is it. And it keeps delaying it. On the bus ride, up through Santa Monica, I said, I want to look at that once more. The snowy mountains, the orange trees in front with the palm trees. I want to see. So I took a ticket to Santa Monica, and then I liked it, and I said, well, if I find a job and a place, I stay, and I did, and that's the end of me. I never got back home, because then I did car hopping, and then on the days off, I went to the Arthur Murray Studio, and they talked me into training, and this is how it developed.
So basically, you've done it all. You've done so many different things. You've tried so many different things. You've struggled to survive, but you always remained faithful to what you wanted to do, and you kept pushing. You never gave up. And that is such an inspiration. What advice would you give to women out there in these days, trying to survive, trying to follow their dreams? What would you say? What would you say to me?
Well, you've got to first know what you want, and
Important.
then you have to let experiences that happen in your life sink in and understand and choose what you want. Then you just gotta try to follow.
Just follow my heart.
Yeah,
And don't be afraid.
right. Don't be afraid.
Thank you so much for your strength. Thank you so much for your experience, for your words of wisdom. And I honestly feel that this will reach so many people and will help a lot of people understand how life can be a struggle, but it can also be a blessing. And it's in those struggles that we find the opportunity to go further. This is your time right now to share with us all this immense world that you have. And thank you so much.